Hi, you guys. It's MJ from Alta Love. How are you? I have no notes today. I haven't gone live in a few days because I've been traveling and having family visitations across the nations and the jubilations, if you know what I'm saying. Like, hi. And ultimately, on this June 2nd, I have a yoga workshop locally in a couple of hours. And I honestly, like, since getting back from, uh, I'm hearing blame Canada, blame Canada. No. When I come back from Canada, hi Jazz. Hey dude, thanks so much for your email. I mega appreciate that. That was so lovely. As in, like, it's like buddies being like, hey, haven't seen her in a little while. I wonder if she's okay. It's like nice to like, yeah, feel the appreciation across the nation, right? Thanks, John. Oh, you guys are the best. So yeah, I just got back from I missed you. Yes. Oh my god. Oh my god, you guys. I miss you as well. This is a glorious encounter in the here now. I'm like really chuffed to be here. And like I straight up do. Like I have days off as well. And then I miss being here. And weirdly, the polarity that I can share with you guys is like I'm also really proud of myself when I actually take days off, when I'm actually like, I'm sleepy, I was gonna sleep today. I'm not gonna feel the pressure. I'm not gonna feel the pressure, because then those are the moments when out of default, I do the live shares or I come on and stuff happens and I'm like, hey, I knew intuitively I should have taken a day off and I didn't. I just powered through like the old system would have me do, and it ends up kicking me in the arsehole. So I'm getting better at just like ebbing and flowing with the tides and not feeling any pressure whatsoever. And then there's all this gracious love here. Like, hi, isn't one of you guys actually called Gracious Love as well? Which I love all of our names. Yes, Roots. Such a weirdo. Such a weirdo. But yeah, no pressure, right? Obviously, and that's what I love about you guys. Like, there's so no pressure whatsoever, but there's a mega love vibration, right? And that's why we like showing up. It's like doing what you do because you've got the love, and then we just share the love, and then we amplify the love. And then the love shares everywhere. And then the golden hot love vibrashe goes everywhere as well. Like straight up, you guys. And honestly, you've come back to the UK. It's actually warmer. It's actually kind of hot here, which is awesome. Let's put it out there. Let's say thanks to the actual gods of the lords of time and weather, making it actually kind of nice and hot in the UK, which is always, I feel the vibes raising already. So, and aside from that, is that it's like feels like summertime. Honestly, when the sun comes out, there is some juice, been surrounded by love all day in a holistic festival of life. That sounds amazing. Divine sight. I have a yoga workshop today, so there's going to definitely be some love, hot juice vibration flying around. And actually, as it's June today, I'm really feeling the like summertime is here. Like we're all gonna have a great summertime, right? Yes, Mike. How are you? Oh, Mike, I remember you turned up on my feed. You appeared in my reality in Bali this year, I believe. It was around that time, and one of your videos, or just one of your comments was like, you really resonate with like the topic. The energetics are shifty. So yeah, June is here. And as for the collective intuition, so there's still polarity, but I actually feel that there's a huge portion of the collective that's had a drop off shift, which for me feels like I talk about it in the Fearless Life Guide. Sorry guys, I'm clearing. I'm not unwell. I'm actually just clearing from having been home. And I've had quite a few emotional storms whilst back home, which has obviously shifted the perspective and brought me here today. And So the perspective, the shifty times that that Mike is referring to, I totally am aware of that as well. The shiftiness though isn't, we've sort of bottomed out as far as the next wave goes. There's been like a bottoming out. It doesn't mean like we're not going to feel these densities again, but a lot of pardon me, you guys, a lot of the bottoming out of grief, despair, betrayal, heartache, just this feeling of being absolutely washed clean, like that is starting to shift. We're starting to shift out of that. And then for me, the experience now is that there's these new energies. They're lighter energies. They're better feeling. There's a deeper sense of balance, and there's also a greater sense of longevity within sustainability that we've managed to attune to from within our own like regenesis state. So as individuals, we're actually sort of aligning ourselves with that regenesis, with that divinity, that God source, what have you. And then that is actually slowly but surely sort of bottoming out the lowest, densest frequencies on this planet. Hence why on different channels we might start to talk about different energetic streams. You know, a perception belt of control and domination. Some of that stuff is actually being up leveled. One thing that's important for certainly maybe for some of us, it might be a nice reminder to remember that we're out on the leading edge. That if this is a global movement, when you're out front, you don't necessarily see all the stuff that's like coming off the back of your behavior, off the back of your thought projection, off the back of your energetic transformations. So a lot of the inner work that we've been doing for most of our lives, a lot of the waves of manifestation for our perception is only going to start to come through now, here now. But there's seeds that we've planted from childhood, seeds we've planted from other lifetimes, seeds that have been planted obviously from within and all around us in the divine scape of this energetic projection, which we've always been aware of all of the different timelines, but we haven't necessarily had the capacity to actually express it because our channels of creation weren't clear enough, right? We were still invested in 3D paradigm. We were still invested in enslavement consciousness. We were still invested in our own poverty consciousness, right? So those of us that are, we bottomed out. We got sick and tired. We couldn't hold it, as in we couldn't go one more round through the old paradigm and hold it down. We had to shift, right? And it's obvious to me when we look at the polarization of the external reality with regards to like the extremism. It's not just like oh no, pesticides are bad. It's like, no, we are stealing and hoarding all of the food crops and potentially destroying them. No, we're actually, and it's not like, oh, look, a little bumblebee died. Oh no, we're actually potentially creating an extinction for the bees that create all of our food source. And so it's not like we're creating this little story of, oh, well, silly humanity. Oh no, they destroyed themselves and their planet. Hee hee, silly, silly. No, it's kind of deep and it's profound and it's survival and it's like as high risk as you can get when you're telling a story, and yet we still have this sort of apathy shit going on, and again, when you look at the systematic control domination, that's part of the perpetuation of mainstream media. The reason you bombard people with fear consciousness is that it creates shock, panic, and then apathy. The reason people just don't pay attention or don't question is because of the shit you have to face from within the self, which those of you who res with me, those of you get it. That's why you don't go around preaching to people and telling, you just need to let it go. Do you? Because that's a fucking painful process. I wouldn't go around except I do on this channel. I express with love, I share with love a process that I've endeavored to go through. And the deeper I go and the deeper I go and the deeper I go, the less I have any desire to like force people to change or let go. And in fact, even just recently, I did it one more time. I followed that breadcrumb trail right into the fucking dragon's den. Fixing, helping, being a good girl, and being so fucking helpful and trying to make everybody understand where I'm coming from. Guess what? That shit's gonna shoot you in the face every time. And it does. Me trying to help is just the opposite of somebody else not taking responsibility. And then as soon as you can see your own bullshit codependent martyrdom behavior and or savior behavior and or oh, weirdly what I noticed from in my own behavioral pattern is that the victim, or is that right? Weirdly, yeah, there's always this polarity. So there's a bit of a victim in the hero savior mentality. If you'll notice, if you'll stay with me here, is that those of us who have a little bit of the savior conflict, or I want to say complex, it's that if you really follow that loop of the savior going around saving everybody, oftentimes you'll notice that the savior quickly can become the victim because people don't want his saving. Like go around, save everybody, and then they're like, ew, get off me. I'm quite happy complaining over here, savior. What the fuck? And then the savior's like, oh my God, how could you not want me to save you? And then you're like, oh, now I go into victim mode because so-and-so doesn't want to blah, 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 bee, boo, 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 boo. Hence, then we get all entangled, right? Hey, Revel. How are you? Oh, good night, Jazz. Good night, my friend. Woohoo! Look, everyone's just like, Happy June, love and embraces, and Molly Wood, and I'm great, yeah, and hi. So, so yeah, that was a little bit of a rant slash ramble slash divine insight, yes, or divine sight, but insight because I sees inside. Oh, thanks. I like want to take them off. And also I've had a clear out, you guys, so I feet are feet funny, like honestly. I after almost 10 years, actually, it nope, 9. It's been 9 years. And I don't know where and how it came about, but 9 years I have had my yoga toes. I mean, you can't tell, but like some of you guys would know. So I, for 9 years, have had little toe rings on my second toe. And it's all kind of a little bit connected why I had these toe rings on. It doesn't really matter because I, for a really long time, have had toe rings on these toes, almost 10 years. And yesterday, I almost want to cry. Holy crowsers. So yesterday I took them off. And obviously there's something going on in the air. I did came home and did a massive clear out of my apartment and my, oh, very Cyndi Lauper. Thank you. I love Cyndi Lauper. Girls just want to have fun. Oh, girls just want to have, girls, they want to have fun. Cyndi Lauper, I grew up with her. I really appreciate her vibrashe. Right. So there's a little bit of a build up to it. Basically, I don't know if you guys do long haul flights, notice like sometimes your fingers and hands get a bit swollen. So the rings were like bothering my feet for the first time like ever. And then I got home yesterday and they were like still bothering me. And then I made all these like different connections of timelines. And I was like, oh, this phase of my life is over, i.e. the toe ring girl or the yoga girl or whatever reason my own beingness decided to like take those rings off. Now I have bare feet. And I looked at my feet yesterday and I was like, I don't have my little, but now I'm looking at them being like, no, I'm happy. Like, what a dork, honestly. Like, who cares about your toe rings? But this is how life manifests, right? And this is stuff I even talk about in the book. And this is how I live my life. But this is stuff that I share with people around when you're going through change. There might come a point where you're hella ready to get rid of a whole bunch of shit. And I don't mean shit as a derogatory term. I mean, get rid of stuff that your beingness no longer resonates with so that you can actually fill your space. And that's something like I went through my closet and I don't know how to describe it other than it's just a feeling of knowingness of like, I have to, time after time, when she wakes and she did you will like do. Okay. You guys are creating this as a really fun share because we're singing Cyndi Lauper, and that's a legit awesome woman. So see, clearing. And then and I'm just getting rid of, like, yesterday I was driving home and building up to the days coming back to my place. I could just feel that there was a whole bunch of shit in my closet. There was like just stuff scattered about different rooms that I just knew I had to cleanse. I had to get rid of it. I had to, and it probably has to do with the fact that one of the emotional storms that I was sitting in. Yes, Julie. So one of the emotional storms that I was sitting in, probably about 5 or 6 days ago, when I was at home, that emotional storm was pretty monumental. I was sitting and crying for a good few hours, and then I went into isolation for another few hours. So I was like, that makes sense to me that then on the other side of that emotional storm, I have a pretty big shit turnaround, vibrationally speaking, have some really profound insights. Didn't do anything rash or impulsive. I just let that kind of emotional storm integrate, and then honestly just have a different perspective of the people, places, and things around me. And ultimately, after another couple of days of resting and processing and integrating, I just feel really clear about who I am here now, where I've been, what I've learned, how much love and appreciation I have kind of accumulated over time, and the fact that I don't have to go back into, and nor do I, and the subtlety of knowing it's an energy. It's not about going back in or cutting people off or blah 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 blah, because the truth in our eternity state is that all relationships are eternal. The point is, for this projection of a timeline that I'm co-creating with all y'all, it's that we're all going, actually, I'm going to choose this now. I'm going to, and then we kind of create community around us to say, hey, are you allowed to do that? Yeah, sure, you can let go of that past. You can, oh yeah, sure, I get what you're talking about, right? Like, we can still love these people or that group of people, or we can love that thing, but we can encourage one another to be like, yeah, I get what you're talking about. You can love that and you can still let it go, or you can love that and you can still set it free. We can love one another and still completely 100% choose our own divinity path. And that's something that, weirdly, sometimes when we're still unconsciously looping into certain patterns, we just can't see it until we see it. And then when we see it, we're like, oh my God, of course, I've been liberated all along. I just didn't realize it, right? I just didn't know that I was still acting this pattern, uh, until I can see it. And that's something that I witnessed over the weekend. And this stuff is so subtle that it's beyond that you wouldn't necessarily get it unless you were doing the work, because it's like, and so I'm somebody who's far away in proximity. Like, I moved to the UK by intuition guidance, right? I moved to the UK by intuition guidance, also on another level, on a conscious level, knowing that there was a distortion, that there was a disharmony with some of my, collective upbringing, i.e., some of the groups of friends that I hang out with, some of my family members. There was just this like, I'm not sure what's going on. I don't res, or I don't feel like I fit in, or I don't da 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 da. And then again, I've been always far, far, far away and quite detached and quite removed. And then every time I tune in, I just get different perspectives from the blood family. And then I think that perspective that I grew up with quite naturally, because I have kind of a um weird family dynamic, or just not conventional. It's just like I'm a child of divorce, and like nothing was ever cookie cutter. Although I gotta say, you guys, as I share more people are coming to the fore who maybe even looked like they had the cookie cutter perfect life, and they did not. That's just being straight up. There is more and more and more and more people coming out of this veiled illusion state. And I have male and female people going, oh no, yeah, I had a really, really, really great thing childhood. And then life experience happens, and then suddenly they're going, ooh, or they're healing one issue and then uncover another issue and uncover another issue, and you're like, my life was not at all what I thought it was. But then that's like legit. That's like any of us. Like, at this point, I'm having another shift where I'm just like, oh, because Really, 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 like, we are the creators. We created everything. When you look at any point of your life, you can actually see how your thought projection, your vibration, and everything is actually creating that life that's reflecting back to you. And every single one of us. So one thing I'm realizing as well, our karmic ties are not good or bad. They're legit awesome. When we can really honor what the karmic lesson is teaching us, i.e., we have to be thankful for the polarity of the experience, right? Hey, Crispy. Mm. And that's interesting. And that just reminded me. Hi, Susanna. Susanna Amanda Spirit Windwalker. I feel like you've either swapped names or maybe you're a different name on Instagram now. I feel because I've had connections with you. Same person, different name. Divine Sight. What can you relate to? I was told I had the cookie cutter life. Brazen Air. Fancy that, my friend. Interesting. But then there, and that was something I observed in high school. I observed the cookie cutter life people, and part of my reality growing up was I pretended all through high school. I always felt like I was kind of burdened by putting on this show to kind of keep up the illusion of running with the cookie cutter life people, and how that looks in a privileged sense is that I was still privileged. I still had a certain amount of privilege, but I wasn't, our family weren't millionaire and billionaires, but I, for whatever reason, grew up and went to school with a bunch of millionaires and billionaires. Not to mention that a lot of these women in particular, they looked like fucking supermodels. So you can imagine all your unworthiness and all of your lack consciousness is getting triggered to shit. And no wonder I was bulimic and I was anorexic. And no wonder I had fucking all of these and wanted to commit suicide because I constantly had to pretend really hardcore at school and then go home and be a piece of shit. Go home and be a nobody and a nothing and be told that you're never ever going to be as good as those girls. You're never ever going to have as much money and you might as well not even try. You might as well not. So no wonder I was like, fuck all, yeah, I'm leaving, and then you have the awakenings, right? And you realize after the awakenings, I basically made that inner decision of like, I don't want that. And then, but I didn't realize that doing that at 19 was not normal, that most people wanted what they were being offered or they wanted what they were being sold. And for me at 19, I decided to like, take my 2 pairs of trousers and my backpack and go. And I never had a desire to accumulate stuff like I was told to. And then hi guys, here we are. This is me. This is like my life. And like you guys are weirdly meeting me at a point in my life where I'm going in some senses like an opposite direction, is I'm finally stepping into my power to the sense of saying, I do deserve to have some nice things. And I do deserve to like feel lovely and beautiful. And I do deserve blah, 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 blah. Because why? Because everyone else deserves that too. And that's also part of this perspective is like, it's not about opulence. Certainly isn't about having stuff to then power over and dominate and pretend that you're way better than everybody else because you had some impressive job or whatever. No, it's like, let's accumulate and or live well to show one another how to live well, as in be kind, be loving, be generous. Like I sometimes when I share this stuff, I'm a bit like, isn't it obvious? It's always been fucking obvious to me, and yet I'm the one who's always been demonized and or ridiculed throughout my life. And I'm like, no, but and this is where I'm like, but then it's that thing of people being in their heads. Control and domination is ultimately fed via consciousness, via mental programming. So long as everybody's trapped in a mental program, that's what they persist in projecting. And then all the true manifestation work of the heart and the beingness and the energy field and the emotions, people are like, I don't want to have to go there. I don't want to have to feel that. I don't want to have to admit that my ancestors might have done blah, 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 or that I might be a bit of a dick. We all, but of course, when we're spending a whole bunch of our life energy projecting an illusion of our own creation, i.e., I'm a good girl, or I'm a blah, 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 or, whatever, that becomes hard work. And this is all, I think, a lot of what we're sort of seeing in the shifty energy times is that everyone's, depending on how hard people are working to uphold an illusion of their own projected creation, and the disparity of how true that is. So if that is ultimately true, then we're going to have a good time. If that projection is ultimately a big fat fucking lie, then you're going to have some karma to deal with, right? And actually, weirdly, I don't think it's going to look like what we think it's going to look like. Hence the level of the level of us, or like, what am I trying to say, the level with which we have created this 3D paradigm ain't going to be solved by the mental capacity that keeps it in place. Hence, all of us meeting and agreeing on this emotional piece. How do we break free? We emancipate ourselves via the emotional body, because that's what the system has cleverly entrapped us in. Hence trigger. None of us ever get beyond just the trigger. So and so, I'm being fucking triggered, and therefore I am justified, and you're a big fat fucking blah, 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 blah. So blame and attack, war after war after war after war after war, blame and attack, war after war after war after war after war. Holy shit, when do we get to be free? We're never gonna be free until we fucking own it. Until every single one of us in our own in our own beautiful little worlds go, I did that. And no, it's not about pointing fingers, and it's not about being a big meanie about, holy shit, how could I have created this? It's about feel the pain of it then. There, and then that liberates you. When you can have the courage to feel the pain of your own shitty creation, then you can be liberated from it. You don't keep attracting it back, or the cycles get bigger and they get more manageable, and you keep feeling the efficacy of your inner work to then shed the ineffective nature of 3D paradigm living. And 3D paradigm living is ultimately just the ultimate enslavement. It's the fact that I am not valuable, only my work is valuable. So you see the disparity in that. It's the fact that we prize only the doing, not the being. And the flip and the reversal of the new paradigm is that it's my beingness that is exuding my reality, not the opposite. It's not in my doingness that I create. It's in my beingness that I create. And ideally, my doingness is just following my beingness, if that makes sense. I.e., this is completely natural for me. People have been like, oh, how do you say the things that I'm thinking or feeling, or how do you just keep on talking for live? And I'm like, I don't know. That's what sort of, to me, a gift is. I've been around artists and dancers and musicians who I'm like, oh my God, how do you just make it look so fucking easy? And they're like, it's just who I am. And I'm like, exactly. That's what when you find those things that you just do naturally, that come natural. Like the first time I just saw a speaker talking about this kind of stuff, I was like, oh, I think I can do that. I think I know about this stuff, because it's all I think about. I don't sit around and thinking about Bobby Joe and how they blah, blah, blah. I literally just driving and walking and da-da-da. I'm like, and like always have, especially since my awakenings, where I was like, whoa, what is this inner stuff going on? That like teachers and people stuff, they don't talk about this inner stuff, and then, but more and more of us do, thank God. Internet is the second coming of Christ, taken from my brother. And we are that. We are the embodiment of that more light-filled state, and we are also the technology of our advancement. That's what I think about that. Anyway, you guys. And okay, and I'm going back to like, I was told I had the cookie cutter life, and interesting as well when it comes to ego is that anything can be used as a double edge as well. Is that we can, and this is part of, I would say, us expressing and sharing and connecting, is that we're in a tight spot. A lot of us are in a tight spot because we're not what others would project us to be. And yet we have had the privilege. And so we can't, either way, it's unity. And either way, it's only about finding the unity within the self and the harmony within the self so that you can project that into the self. And so, again, that's where in the book, I pretty much just always bring it right down to like, could you just love yourself? Can you just have compassion for yourself? Just keep loving yourself and just keep having compassion, and that will extend. That's what I do at the end of all my yoga my yoga classes, is just like, first start here. Start with loving yourself unconditional. Start with having unconditional compassion for yourself and all that you do, all the good, the bad, and the ugly. And then watch how that self-compassion and that self-love permeates and extends itself all around you. There again, though, we have to continue to hold ourselves accountable. It's not like I have one emotional storm and then I'm done and I'm healed forever. This is a new way of being. The new way of being means that I'm a fully alive, fully present, fully emotional human being. And if other cannot handle that, then they need to go do more work. More inner work, that is, to hold space for the self. Because that's another thing, is that some of you might even experience this now, and those of us that have been on the path for a bit have already experienced this. That often what happens is people come into your vortexual reality, and if it's not super anchored, if they can just go whoa and have all these transformational insights, not know what the fuck was happened, but it's actually to do with the fact that they've entered a field of energy that is transformational in its nature. It's that more and more of us in the regenesis and the truth of your beingness, you don't have to say or do anything. It's just the presence that you are that's going to shift people around you. Ba, 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 ba. This is the cycle of love. Cycle of love. Oh my God. But this is why I love you guys. This is why I love you guys, because I can just be totally bonkers. But I gotta say, back to like actual relevant information to you guys and this collective, it's that we're fully in the new energies now. I know it's been a really weird and wild ride, but like, and it will continue to be weird and wild, but have faith that there were some miraculous events coming forward that's going to continue to anchor us and to be like, oh my God, we did it and we're doing it. Yes. Yes. Take that. As in all the naysayers, all the people that never believed, you take that and you see me shine. And that's kind of more what it's going to be like, except not like that, because there's no ego here, right? It's not about the like brr, 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 brr. There's just this tiny little bit. There's just this tiny little bit from all the naysayers and all the people that like shat and ridiculed and laughed. There's just this little tiny little love heart vibration. Mhm. Yeah. As in, because people that have been mean and people that have been lying and people that have been a bit covert, there's just this little bit of, well, karma's a bitch, isn't it? But then it's like thankful. Let's all be thankful for that. Because it's my own karma bitchiness that has also been hitting me up against shit. And I'm like, bah! And that's how one, I guess, develops the authenticity vibrashe. It's that instead of distracting myself, I just went through the whole kind of instead of denying it, I just kept owning it. And then I didn't even realize how intense the process was. But in keeping owning it, at least you're more and more transparent. So it means that people can't take advantage of you, but it also means that I have to keep dealing with my own shittiness and my own embarrassment and the fact that I got nothing, like the fact that I truly don't know anything for other, which there again creates all these different sort of I guess I want to say veils, but it's not like veils. It's like fun flourishes of love rather than limited constructs of control manipulation. That somehow made sense to me in as far as like the heart of compassion versus like trying to exploit and steal and hoard. So that's, I mean, there's all these polarities and also subtleties in manifesting the more harmonious sacred geometric structure that of course that's from our own authentic beingness. So at any given moment, the only thing that any of us are actually doing is harmonizing distortion and energy. Anything that hits us and all of that, we're just going, wait, what is that? How can I harmonize that? How can I clear that, right? Divine sight, right? I'm going right up to Divine Sight's comment about like been shifting a ton, 6 weeks, so many people like flowing out and so many people flowing in, same. And more the alignment, like the resonance flowing in, lessons of like things holding away, and then also more feedback resonance with other stuff that you guys are also dealing with, right? I know. I'm reading a comment. I'm reading a comment on my personals as well as here. I know it's all like interlocking, right? I'm gonna go like your video 10 times. You rock. Oh well, gee, thanks. Thanks a lot. um, nope, not Cookie Qatar Life. Susanna. Right, I hear you. And this is another thing as well, is like where this is also a beautiful example of unity consciousness right here in this group chat. I'm like, we have people from all walks of life. We have the people who technically lived in the cookie cutter. Your life is so perfect. Your family is blah blah blah. And then we had the opposite, the potentially like disregarded, disenfranchised, totally ghetto-sized, totally pushed aside, alienated, meeting right here on Ultra Love TV, being like, what the actual? And like at least there's an openness here where we can all go, listen, like there's some shitty shits happening in the world, and we don't want to be a part of it, but it's not obvious. It's not necessarily what it looks like, i.e., one of the greatest teachings, don't judge a book by its cover. And I'm somebody who's mega sensitive to the point of like, I'm aware of how we all have blind spots, and like judgment is subtle and it's deep, and like, so straight up, even on this channel, when I talk about the controller energy and the system of control and domination is an aspect of self creation through disempowered enslavement. And I'm not going around pointing fingers at any of us, but I am saying that we are all responsible for the dissolution of old paradigm construct of limitation. And we are all responsible for creation on a new and higher level from a heart space rather than from our limited mindscape. So the limited mindscape is us breaking free from a perception of limitation and fear and separation. Us opening and healing is opening our heart to heal the beingness that we are and actually uplift the mental landscape so that we can see, feel, and be more into a timeline of a more unity aspect, which means that we can travel, teleport, and co-create much more tangibly in an energetic way via these higher platforms of consciousness. It's not like we're better or worse. We're just tapping into the infinite. We're tapping into a broader sorry guys, we're tapping into like a broader landscape of I want to say like being able to pluck creative manifestation energy, versus thinking that we're not creative at all, that we have no power whatsoever, and we just have to do what we're told. 3D paradigm, right? So the more and more of us actually endeavoring this from a place of unity, not selfish manifestation. So selfish manifestation to me is just looping control domination via entitled privilege and then dominating people. There's no real authentic manifestation there. And I see it a lot in our kind of different circles, right? And I'm sure I've done that too. But like at this point in the game, I would say because there's more and more people who actually desire change in earnest, we are actually seeing like the pillars of old paradigm being removed, i.e., we're removing it just by like leaving, not paying it much attention anymore. And then that starts to like, and then we're over here going, oh, new world, yay, it's so fun, new world energies, lovely, new paradigm. And then people leaving grid system, as they continue to leave, they'll be like, hey, what are those guys doing? We're like, hey, it's super fun over here, come on. Oh no, you can't be a shithole no more. You got to deal with it, but you can come play with us. It's that kind of thing. Although a lot of people would say that's in my idealistic mind. I used to maybe believe that. I don't anymore. I actually feel like it's anchored in truth. I feel like it's anchored in the Earth's divine blueprint. It's just a simplified way of talking about these energetic waves that are up leveling our evolution, and or one and the same as our evolution. The sun and Earth are like one connected beingness in as far as this is a solar system, right? We're actively participating in this evolution of a system of solar activity, right? It's not just Earth, little Earth, and like all those big planets out there. No. It's a co-creative energetic system. So we're aligning ourselves with that system, and as we do that, what we're opening ourselves up to is the fact that there's a lot more going on than meets the eye, certainly from that 20-year cycle or 20,000-year cycle or what have you. Now we're able to finally kind of break free from those limited constructs and rise up into our truth and in our knowingness, which is, and again, in real simple terms, all that means is that we feel better. Isn't it a win? It's a win-win for everybody. It just means I get to be free and happy in the body. And I get to be free and happy in this world. And then we get to show more and more people via like the love in our heart, we get to show more and more people how to be free. And then that just means that the controller energy just doesn't, it doesn't exist. The controller energy doesn't exist when you're not trying to control reality because out of fear. Because then you've transformed all your fear and there's no controller energy out to get you because you're not carrying that with you anymore. You've transformed it into the truth of your beingness. And so now you're living the truth of your beingness. The paradox about all this stuff is that we talk about it in contrast, but there's only ever here now, right? Think about the infinity loop, or like that little line in between the two dot. I don't know what that is, but that's again a unity, right? Is that we want to think of ourselves as the perceiver of the dualistic aspect, or the circle enclosing the two colors, or the again the kind of all-seeing eye looking at this infinity symbol. You see it as a container, as a unity sense, right? And there again, for a lot of us, this makes sense to me because it always has made sense to me. It's always been part of my innate knowing. And it wasn't until my adulthood of really disseminating and working it all out and being like, no, this actually makes functional sense from a scientific and a spiritual perspective. So we might as well unify the two and become one, right? Become one so that we can up level and work in more co-creative unity so that we can feel better in these bodies, feel better on this planet, and actually live in harmony here, which is possible. It's just been disconnected from the source via a divine blueprint, via a generation station of learning, cosmic learning, soulful learning. It never ends here. It's always going through this infinity belt. So those of us who went on this ride, woohoo, yeah, now we're getting ready to teleport out of here. Eventually. There's still a lot of work to be done, and most of us have probably at least to complete this life cycle, but we might have a couple more incarnations, mainly for fun, but very much in conscious creation through the completion of this mission, right? And it is a mission, but only in a soul sense. I'm only here for my own little mini mission, right? You guys are here for your missions, and somehow they all align. And that has to do with probably some of our cosmic travels, like where we've been in the cosmos and how we've lined up in different Earth incarnations, where we've been. Some of you guys I know have been there during my torture days, right? Just as we've been there together, watching each other get hung and burned and drowned. But that's cool because we love each other. We love even our persecutors and we love even our enemies. Why? Because life is eternal and never ending. So you might as well not hold on to grievance because that grievance is only going to come around and bite you in the arse. So heal your grievance through the portal of light and forgiveness. And honestly, life will just continue to unfold in the most miraculous of ways. What is this? Oh my God, I love you guys so much. So you're there, you're commenting, and for some reason my my commenting, it gets stuck, and I assume that you guys are just like hooking onto every word, but you're not. You're totally commenting. I just am not seeing them. Favorite summer party crew. And I'm freaking my friends out here, so I'm here with the carnival. Sweet Cece, sweet Cece, here for the carnival. Ugh. Oh, hi, Rochelle. Oh, I don't know. But now it's coming through. It must have something to do with when I go up, because I don't know. And fawning. Hi, Elliot. How are you? I just woke people up for sure. For sure. Tug from by fear program, disentanglement from the vibrational tug. Yes. And the disentanglement to me is just like we have to keep going around these patterns until we can see how. Because if you think of like an entanglement, it's it's a little bit like that. So you have to go around the pattern a few times to notice, oh, right. So I go here and then here and then here and then here and then and then right? It's an entanglement. So you can imagine that it's like I made that analogy before of actually untangling some really, really gosh darn entangled things. Is like something's entangled in the first round going round. It's like, oh, okay, I can hook that. Fine, still entangled. Another cycle around. Oh, another cycle around. Oh God, that's just fucking bullshit. Another cycle around. Oh, gee whiz, look, I'm slowly getting there, another second round. I just see it. I see it. Sovereign, sovereign being. Yes, yes, the cycle. So again, our cosmos is representative. We have the seashell, the cosmos, that we have this sort of centrifugal energy, and then that's spiraling out. Exactly. That's exactly how I see our own imprint. We are in and of our beingness a cosmos, a galactic core that's constantly kind of cycling around to know itself, right? The God source, right? And so it's like the source point, and then we go round and round and round to disentangle ourselves from limitation, and then via into the light, the golden ratio. Oh, right. Okay, cool, perfect. So it's like actually um Gordian, it is not. Dude, I tripped a friend out yesterday, but kudos to her, she's not crying in her corner, she's a trooper. Ooh, interesting, little juicy goss. La 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 la. I'm curious about the tripping out of the friend. I'm like, did you really? I getting well, I've just been really reclusive lately, but I've also done that. I've like and then wow yesterday and I was off the hook. Amazing. See what I mean? Like these new energies are kind of like weird and heightened, but like it's real, it's happening. Synchronicities to the extreme, for real, for real. Look at me like a dog. I know. It's like that. She was mind blown. I've had that sweet CZ as well. Like I've had interactions or encounters with people where I've just suddenly gone and like stuff has come out, and then the other reflection suddenly goes and like they'll get nauseous. They'll because clearly I've tapped something where there's a dissonance, but it's fairly anchored. So they don't just skip out. They're like anchored, but then they're having a mind blown thing happen, and then the body kicks in, and they'll start to feel a bit like, oh my god, what the fuck are you? Only a few times, but it does actually happen quite a lot, especially if new encounters. Sometimes I have it with new clients as well, where they're just and then you're just like that's what breathing and meditation technique is super duper important, as is a physical embodiment practice like yoga, tai chi. Some people are into running. A good friend of mine who's going through some major heavy duty shifting, he's randomly got back into like circuits, and when he said that to me I was like, as in I'm somebody who has that imprint from early childhood and adolescence and maybe even my 20s, but I started to kind of let that go in my 20s, but like hardcore. I used to do it with yoga as well, but like work out to the max, like circuits and boxing and running and stretching, and just like I can't even get over how much I used to exercise. Um and then I realized the exercise wasn't helping. The exercise was actually making me more ill. I always felt like bruised, right? As though fractal took a breath. Um Right. Okay. I kind of feel that divine sight is fractal, and only, I mean, the way I feel into that is sort of like how I experience my reality in a sense. Is just like now I'm here. I'm like now I'm here. And then now I'm here. There's no like specific timeline other than like when I go really broad and can be like, hey guys, shall we meet up in a cosmic reality 5,000 years from now? I don't know. Like, let's hang out. Only because, like, I know that we're all infinite, eternal beings on a kind of cosmic ride, and yet we're here for the benevolence and grace of all of humanity. Like, we're here in connective brotherhood. Because I do feel that resonance, and I always have. That's why I'm like here. I never understood why people were killing each other and stealing from each other. I'm like, guys, you're basically just killing yourself and stealing from yourself over and over again. Wake up. And so here we are, like waking ourselves up, waking each other up, going, oh my God, what have we been doing? And hence coming into the light, awakening the Christ, right? That's how to do it, though, right? Just let someone manifest, let someone see for themselves. I was dying laughing. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. No kinks. Exactly, exactly. Oh. Oh, and then that's making me think, sweet CC. I think this is all part of it is like, but I didn't, this is just collective intuitions, but there's something around acceleration. So now it's like practice, 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 discipline, 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 a little bit of deep emotional clearing and stuff. And then suddenly it's like synchronicities, numbers, people, and then manifestation. And now with co-creation acceleration, we're going to start to see our manifestation showing up quicker. And also, so there's a part of my old default setting of just perpetual disappointment that I dare not say this sort of thing. But like, this is legit what I'm getting intuitively is that what's going to start manifesting in our lives is beyond what our imagination can conceive of, and in a good way. And I know I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Because again, for a lot of us in the empath road, it's just been like perpetual disappointment after disappointment. Man, this world has really let us down. We're like, God damn it, fuck. But except it's so different. And now, weirdly, we've had all this bottoming out disappointment energy, and yet we're clearing that energy and we're actually turning it around and focusing on the beauty, right? It's falling apart into place. Exactly, Chris P. That's just exactly it. I'm like, it's already all crumbling out. It's kind of dead. It's like the old world to me. It is dead. It is just like, and you're like, oh, let's clean that up. And so now we're just focusing on the kind of cleanup crew. This is us cleaning up. This is us getting more clear. This is us becoming more powerful creators. This is us becoming more focused, right? This is us ramping up and getting excited about how we all get to come together and co-create a reality via, it doesn't really matter what pockets of the world we are, because it's one world, it's one unified heart, right? So anywhere and anything that we create is unified in the new paradigm energy. And this is something that we have to really start to see ourselves as, is that moving about, we can be in different pockets of the planet, we'll have different places to be and different people to serve and different ceremony to conduct en masse. Because a lot of us, certainly in this community that I resonate with you guys, is that you're all self-healed healers as well, which means your gifts, your talents, as they come to the fore, they're going to be part of new paradigm activity to continue to amplify the resource-based economy. Yes, it's the cellular release of separation. It's the core wounding of fear and separation, us and them. There's some weird distortion stuff still being cleared for sure, but we are closer to pure manifesting. Love it. Thank you for those insights for sure. Resonate eternity. Oh my God, you guys are so awesome. The real party always happens in the cleanup stage, right, Rochelle? As in, it's the people organizing. They've got a lot of work to do. They're hard working. Then the actual festival happenings, and they're still kind of behind the scenes working hard. They're enjoying everybody have a good time. But when do they get to have a good time? When everybody leaves, and then they're cleaning up, and they're like, "Woo! We did it!" So we're gonna have a lot of fun when some of these manifestations really start appearing, which the masses are gonna be like, ah, and we're gonna be like, don't worry. Like, what actual F am I saying? But then I get it, you get it, we all get it, right? Crispy, legit. So then we can have a real party. Ooh. And like keep maybe just one sound system going. And like a few of the party people will like hang back and enjoy it all with us. I'm down with that. Pick and choose. I'm sure there are some things, although, I mean, come on, it's a little bit like, I wonder what this bag of stuff is. Who dare try it? I'm not one of those people that would try the not knowing what it is, but I would try the stuff if I knew what it was. Like, what is it? Who was I talking to? Somebody recently who also had MDMA, those pills come in, but it wasn't pure MDMA. It was an actual like green pill. And one day I just was like, ah, I wonder what that, because I haven't done it in like 10 years. And then when I actually started to come out, I was like, oh yeah. And then at the same time, I'm like, I kind of feel ecstatic bliss like a lot. As in I can just like meditate myself into like ecstatic bliss to the point of like actually gurning. We're all one. We all trying. Was trying to think that he inverted it. That's super. Haha. You guys are awesome. Cleanup crew gets facility for the rest of the night. Damn straight tree hugger, Dave Mahoney. Yeah, exactly. And like I feel that. I'm like, I mostly just want to party, but only with my besties who understand what's going on and like feel it, right? Oh my god, I had 5 MDMA pills and I decided to not take them. I'm already in a crazy strange phase. Brilliant. And that's the thing. I think that's the thing about being consciously aware. It's like I don't um I even when I had my ayahuasca ceremony, I think the first night I tripped my balls off, and then and then the second night, I think I had like the tiniest sip, and I went to bed early. I was like, I know this plant. I had the experience that I needed to have, and I don't need to trip my balls off for a second night in a row. I can watch everybody else trip their balls off, but I don't need to, you know? And I think it's really empowering because a lot of us, again, in our 3D drug culture, it's almost just unconscious consumption and a bit of fearful propaganda and like distortion in the body where when you can just be fully present with a substance, you can integrate the positive aspect and not really have much negative if it's a pure substance. That's probably why a lot of us aren't necessarily guided to take random pills from a drug party. Like there's purity in chemical as well as purity in plant. I'm gonna keep that comment. I'm not even sure how to interpret it, but I'm just gonna keep it there because I'm all about the blood in the water, right? You guys. Do you know what's fascinating to me? I'm suddenly aware that like there's like a whole bunch of conversation going on, and like we're all sharing and outpouring like the truth of our beingness. Real call to do at the moment. I love you guys. So you guys are proper, like there's some proper legit party people here, which I'm quite a fan of. I'm like, oh, this excites me. The future is ours for joyful pleasure. Yeah, integration with nature on her terms. I get that. Pardon me, you guys. I Zeus, I have a friend who would be right up there with you, and I'm gonna do a lot more research and learning around the menstrual cycle because like there's something there for sure. It's not just that the menstrual blood to me it is an aspect of the elixir, but if you think about the feminine body, how we shed, what I'm realizing is that the female has the ability to shed for the entire community. So when you're fully conscious as a woman, your emotions and your actual bleeding cycle, you can actually cleanse junk DNA. You can actually cleanse like the emotional energy imprint, but then the physical energetic imprint can be released from you every single cycle. So you can do transformational work for your entire um, community. Zeus, you're never just a man. You are a glorious god, as all of us are gods and goddesses. And that's the legit truth of unities. There's nothing. Oh, and this would come from one of you guys. The word just. No, there's no such thing as just. It's just life. It's I'm just a man. You're a holy being. Nobody could be just this or just that. It's just a phone. This is a pretty piece of technology, you guys. Push. Anywho. That's right. That's right. So the femininity of creation couldn't be created unless there was a masculinity and vice versa. It's totally one in unity in self. That's right. That's right. I know, right, Rochelle? Just an empath, except a sorcerer of life. Oh, interesting. Yeah, just. It is just, as in the justice of it. Absolutely, right? Oh, you guys. Oh, you guys. Oh, you guys. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Plur, divine sight. Plur. What does plur stand for? Except I love it. I love that word already. It sounds kind of juicy to me. Plur. Although it needs a few more R's. Plur. This is an amazing time to be alive. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, VCC. It is here with you guys when we're like togetherness, and then sometimes I'm off in my own little netherworld being like, "Oh, just laugh." Except fortunately, I have more and more people and working with people, and like I know it's the proof of the pud. This shit works. It's just way more intense than we ever could have imagined. And when you get to the other side, i.e., you've reached the top of the mountain, you're like, yes, yes, and then you never want to go back to the other. So times are changing, friends. Life is manifesting in the truest, most beautiful way that we could have ever imagined. But boy, oh boy, it's been a long road to get here, hasn't it? A lot of us like, whoa, wash, cunning linguist. Why is that me or someone else? I'm not sure. Brilliant, brilliant. Never wanna go back. Psh, no, no chance. I'm like, I might be totally drifting in the void here, but it's still more fun than being anchored in enslavement for shizzles. Party people! Peace, love, unity, respect. Exactly. And, it's fun, right? I'm like, remember when you had excitement for life? Remember when it was like, oh my god, we're gonna go to a party this weekend, or we're gonna go camping, or there might be a boy that I like, and like a lot of that randomly was under the veil, but still, it's still this. But this time, the excitement is like deep in my core of like, we are making revolutionary changes on this planet. And people understand, and more people understand, and yes, yes, because there is nothing more liberating than honestly just being able to be yourself, show up in the body you want to show up, make the money you want to make, live the life you want to live, and be totally free from any limitation whatsoever. Like, yes, yes, yes. It's just, it's not what it looks like on the outside. It's all going on inside, but actually working out what's going on inside to create what you want outside is part of the little trickery of it, because it's always, always, always inside, and yet we're heavily, 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 heavily programmed to go get it out there, to go make it happen, make your dreams come true. It's not what you do, it's who you know. Blah 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 blah, like all that bullshit, and that we get round and round. Hence perspective, round and round and round and round and round, until finally you're like, of course, it's always been me, and it always was. But we all know that, so we're good to go. We're just helping each other along. Be like, remember how it was right? You were you. It's right. I know how you did it. And it's okay. Everybody else will come along when they're ready, right? Triangle Dave. I actually feel that. Like I literally just had a moment of like being under the stars and like in the grass fields for some reason. You know that vision. I don't know if you guys ever did this growing up, but I remember in Canada, I don't know what there would have been, maybe like meteor showers or just something happening where maybe it was just me and my dad, or like maybe me and some girlfriends in high school. We would just like we would just drive out to a field and either put blankets on the grass, or we just lie on top of the car and watch the sky. You know, watch, maybe one year I saw the northern lights, I don't know. But it weren't really. I know, sweet CC. That's part of why I'm so excited to meet up with you guys. I have told you that the right, that's exactly like watch the stars. So we'll definitely all get to do that when we meet up in Kauai next June. In between now and then, there's Morocco, October 8th to 12th, and February 25th to 29th. So if you can't make Morocco, you can join us in February. So there's two Moroccos coming up, October 8th to 12th, February 25th to 29th. Pardon me. And then that's what's going to ramp us up and get us ready for Kauai. And they're all pretty much the same price point, you guys, but keep an eye out because I'll put a share, pardon me, I'll put a share that is the classic thing that people do, early bird. So if you book really early, we'll give you a deal, and then closer last minute bookings, um, yeah, the other can happen. I just said, "Hold me, MJ, hold me, darling." I might be heading to Turkey. That's kind of close-ish to Morocco, certainly. Good night, Jess. Sleep well, my friend. I do that too, though. I wake up not sleeping and then sleep, sleep, sleep. Send some sleepy energy to Jess Sinclair. Oh, you guys, it's over an hour. I've had a really good morning. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. Sometimes I do these shares and I don't think that much noodly nuggets come out, but then I'm like, there's enough, and it's just nice to meet up with you guys and chat and share. Knowledge is freedom. Interesting as well, because it depends what kind of knowledge you could say, right? But then self knowledge, maybe it's just the knowledge of the self, thyself, know thyself, the truth shall set you free. Um, Yeah, let's go swimming in the ocean. Well, Morocco, I feel guided that way as well. Like Morocco, I've been thanks, Elliot. Morocco is your pro show. It is a little bit. I've been there like 3 times. And this one is a new venue though. So same area of Morocco, same contact, but a new venue with more space. So it's kind of nicer, actually. Nicer, and it's on the water. So we can do water view yoga from the shala. It's a really lovely shala. The food is good. The food is really simple in Morocco though. So if you're a hardcore foodie, I might not recommend Morocco if I'm honest. But if you're happy with couscous and tagine and pretty simple veg, and they'll offer you fish. This Morocco retreat is not a vegan retreat specifically. I obviously request all vegan food, but people who come on the Morocco retreat, they'll have fish sometimes, and they'll actually order meat if they want to. It's not a detox retreat. It's just yoga and surfing and fun on that level, because there's going to be a night where we can actually go party by the pool. And so one of the retreats, straight up, like I'll share this with you guys. One of the retreats that I hosted in Morocco, it was really quite different from like my other retreats where I was still doing yoga every morning, but like by the third day or by maybe even the fourth day, like nobody turned up to yoga because a bunch of people went out drinking the night before, and it was just me and another yoga teacher. Like, oh, but I gotta say, how fun was it when I felt amazing. I did my yoga practice, and then I came down to breakfast, and everyone was just like, I could tell like their heads, that foggy feeling of like too much booze, and you're just like, here. And I'm like, good morning, yoga retreat people. How are you feeling? Although, do you know what the best thing for a hangover is? Surfing, swimming in the ocean. Everybody felt fantastic. By the time they got out to the sea, had a little splish splash, the hangover was well and golly gone. Well and golly gone. And can I smoke lots of weed, Zeus? I love you guys. Also, Chewbacca Sasquatch. It's always 420. What? So, what you're saying about the booze, well, that's fine. People can booze it up if they so choose. But the reality was it's not weed though in Morocco. It's hash. But straight from the Morocco mountains that are like next to Tamrat, which is where we go surfing. So there isn't like cannabis as in like the bud, the bud there, but in Morocco they have pretty um yeah, same. It's all about the plants. Um for me, naturally, booze is a little bit more kind of toxic. But yeah, there's lots of hashish. You can even go like some people, when they come to Morocco, they actually have a day trip out with some of the local guys, and they go up to the mountains to see how they produce it. That's That's not part of the retreat that I'm hosting though. Sorry, guys. um, however, I let people do whatever they want on retreat ultimately. I personally, I like going on retreats that are proper detoxy. Like I'm somebody who quite likes a good juice fast or a 3-day, like putting phones away, coming away from all externals and like being a squeaky clean diva divine for like 3 or 5 days. And then, but my retreats are a little bit more loosey goose, have fun. I.e., you want to go drink and party? Fine. You want to go have sex with the Moroccan surfers? Fine. You want to smoke some hashish while we play drums in the yogashala? That's fine. That's right up my street. So we'll do that, right? We can have lots and lots of fun. I.e., I like to ease Westerners into the yogic lifestyle rather than trying to be like, you are disgusting Western human. Thus, you must do yoga like me. No, I like to ease people in. I find no matter what, practice, all is coming. If you just keep meditating and keep doing yoga, I swear to God, all this substance and addictions and all those kind of bad 3D paradigm stuff, it would just dissipate. It would just go away. And everything you'll see is an extension of the source of self, which is all love. And it's all contained in love. And you are a miracle being. And as long as you attune and believe in your miraculous nature, you become that. You represent that. You extend that everywhere you go and all that you are, whether you're smoking doobies or drinking alkaline water, whether you're eating apples or eating chocolate cake filled with cannabis. Honestly, no matter what you do, you are the divine. And so you might as well just enjoy being the divine in whatever capacity that shows up and let go of the restrictive concept of divide and conquer or any kind of oh no, I feel like oh naughty here, hash and pussy, oh do, but I'm like, but that's what happens, right? Like sex is also part of people having fun sometimes. um I love sweet CC. We can try that as well. I have and I have this is from a friend of mine. Well, someone who I'm not a fan. I don't buy into like the marketing things, but I got given this as a present and it's nice. So this is what Sweet CC is talking about, I believe. So like you get some essential oils and be like, oh yeah, baby. And then there's another one that's quite up and coming is the cacao. Up and coming. I'm like, it's been around for ages, but people doing cacao ceremony, which is like, I would say the mid between completely sober and then heading into like, intoxications, right? Like people who are really squeaky clean who do cacao can often feel like they're coming up on pills, right? Is that right, you guys? I don't know. I've never done the cacao like that. That's it. That's it. So the aromatherapy smells is always, always good, right? Thanks, Zeus. See you around, my friend. Ugh. So yeah, I have a yoga workshop today, and I'm coughing like a champion of life. But I know that I'm clearing because I could feel it just came out of nowhere right after the actual like emotion storm, and I'm literally like cleansing and purifying, and then oh look, I think I've got a little bit of snot. Is it snot or is it do? It is this. It's actually I just got a little oil. I didn't like snot out my nostril, although that would be funny if I did. Sexy snort oil. Thanks. Bergamot works nice for me. This is a magnolia, but I imagine there's oh no, it's just pure magnolia. Interesting. I'll tell you though as well. I've got a whole bunch of new essential oils. I've got jasmine, love it. I'm using that as smellies as well. Rose, lemongrass, lavender. So I'm basically playing around with like personal blends just for me, my body, and my yoga classes. Oh, and yoga retreats for those of you who want to come on retreat with me. I always give people little mini massages during class, and then in shavasana, I tend to do like a head massage, and I use invigorating and or relaxing smells. So, for example, I'm thinking of doing like a lemongrass blend for morning practice. So we do morning flow, get all energized, and then get them lemongrass, like, oh, smells so good. And then like relax, but be kind of invigorated by the lemongrass. And then think about evening practice where you do like lavender. You do like a really kind of like a sleepy, snoozy, off to bed smell, or chamomile or something like that. Anyway, I've got a few different ones I want to practice with. Jasmine dilute and rose, lemongrass, lavender. I've got patchouli, and then I've got a couple kind of like anxiety blends and sunset blends, which are more for my like oil diffusers. But I'm excited. Like it's so right, yummy. I just looked down and saw Lori's comment of like yummy. I know. I'm like, yummy too. Because I use these in soap nuts. Ooh, oh, so soap nuts you can wash your hair with, and you can also wash your clothes with. And thank you, Chris P. That was a really good reminder. Because even things like if you use, say, cider vinegar to wash your hair, essential oils is a really nice way to like have healthy, non-toxic, good smell. And it's similar whereby I don't have it with me, but like I have a couple reused spray bottles. Like I'm talking just like little ones. Oh, I'll show you one. Hold on. Hold on. Stay right there, everybody. Don't go anywhere. Don't leave. Don't go away, you guys. I'm just going to show you. Oh, and my light is dying, so I'm going to turn it off. So like this, I bought probably like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. I think my mom bought me this. And it's an Avita chakra, whatever. Anyway, I ran out of, well, I finished the blend, and oh, baby, that smells good. So instead of using like chemically, like body sprays, i.e., like deodorant, or like just some perfume smells have more of an alcohol, like they have kind of like a alcohol-y thing, right? So and also I use this for multi-purpose. So I actually like just sit right there, you guys, while MJ gets ready. So this one is gonna make my hair smell really good. 2, I have pretty like dry, damaged hair. So the oils are actually gonna help to make the hair look shinier, and then it's gonna make my hair smell delicious. And I'll be straight up, this is just rose. So this is literally just water and rose. So then I spray myself all over, and I can use this as like a room spray. So you guys know, like I live above a fast food thing, so it kind of like smells like chippy in here and like grease. So especially if I'm getting this place ready for guests, Airbnb, what have you, I'll just go around the whole flat and I'll spray this around, and it just smells like delicious rose smell. And I've made another one. I made another one of these from another reusable bottle, spray bottle that is, and it is just jasmine. It's jasmine and water, and it smells so good, and it reminds me of the lovely oils that they use to give you massages in Bali. They use like a jasmine oil. And then with my sweet almond oil, I'll use different blends. So right now I've got a really nice lavender lemongrass blend. And then I also use just straight up lavender for my body, lavender and or rose typically. Sometimes hibiscus oil on the face. It's meant to be really good, but I've noticed that, sweet CC. I definitely smell though. I do. Like I definitely have a smell. My sister was joking about that with my baby, with my niece, is that apparently my brother-in-law, like he just doesn't smell. Like according to my sister and him, like he doesn't smell, but my sister smells. And then he was saying like to my sister, like your sister smells. And I'm like, well, yeah, I don't wear deodorant, so I'm gonna smell. And then they were joking about how baby Mabes, little Mabel, she's a stinker too. Being a stinker. I'm trying. Sweet CC, I think it's my right armpit that smells worse than my left. But now that we are talking about the smelly armpits of this group chat, I think that's probably time to go, isn't it? You're making me hungry. That makes me think I should probably like endeavor to have a little bit of breakfast before my workshop. But I don't have a workshop until 10 in the morning, but still. Let's talk health, fun, organic stuff. And this is the thing, like it's fun and healthy and all right, but it doesn't have to be like nerdacious or like straight and serious and austere. Do you know what I mean? It can just be like fun and juicy and be like, um, oh no, I need to stop talking because I'm not making any sense. All of us, LOL. Okay, so you guys come to Morocco. I would love to have you there. It's super early days, isn't it? June, July, August, September, October, November, or October. So 4 months. Technically, I could probably give you guys some like nice like payment plans, payment plans if that's something that um works for you. So give me a shout out, you guys, if you want to come to Morocco in October and or February. I've already got, I swear to God, you guys, the Kauai retreat next summer is going to be sold out because there's already like, we haven't even formally started advertising it yet. And there's like probably half a dozen that are already wanting to book on. So yeah, just kind of putting the feeders out because I feel a very strong resonance and I'm pretty sure a bunch of us are going to want to like connect in person. So yeah, that's the one. Either I love you guys. I love you so much. And I love this time with you. Sweet CC, are you a Virgo? Interesting that you should ask, darling. I'm Virgo moon. Aries sun, Capricorn ascendant, and Virgo moon. And my Virgo and Capricorn are a little bit more dominant than my Aries at this point. I'm still very Arian, but like I am so much more kind of like grounded and practical, like the Capricorn energy. And then my Virgo is so obvious to me now because ever since I was a little kid, I've always been really like kind of organized and structured and like reliable. Even as like a little kid in like kindergarten, I would always by my teachers be chosen to like kind of lead the kids and stuff. So I was always I was chosen as a kind of reliable I'm there for people and I'm really organized behind the scenes. A lot of people I don't know. I feel like that because sometimes I think maybe it's my yoga vibrashe or just the spirituality side. I think people have thought I must be some total space cadet. But then when I've gone into business with people, they're always a bit like, oh, you're super organized. Like I'm really organized when it comes to all my taxes. I'm really organized when it comes to all of my like accountancy stuff. And I think some people they don't think that about me or they assume that I'm just like drifting off in the ether all the time. I'm like, actually, I'm pretty anchored and organized in the 3D reality as well. And I've got to say, I'm almost certain that has to do with my Virgo nature. I would get to like if I didn't do my taxes every year, I would just be like a stressed out mess if I wasn't on top of that stuff. So my Virgo moon, I feel kind of keeps me practical and organized as best I can anyway in this 3D reality. Because I've noticed that. I've noticed even in the yoga industry, like there are yoga teachers who don't know how to time keep, apparently. I know that sounds really weird, but like I've booked teachers. I'm going way back, like 7-8 years ago. I remember booking a teacher. She was studying to be an architect as well, an amazing yoga teacher. But I had asked her to cover a 45-minute class. And like after a week or two, I was getting the clients coming up being like, she's not finishing. And I'm talking like an hour and a half, like doing a 45-minute class and then just bleeding over another 45 minutes. And like, no, 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 no. People have shit to do. You have to keep the time. And she's like, oh, right. Okay. Yeah. I'll finish on time then. I'm like, yeah. And then she would still have a hard time finishing on time. And stuff like that I don't understand. But then that's why we're all unique. We all have different. And then I'm like, you can swing the opposite way. For 10 years of my freelance career, I'd show up like an hour early because I didn't want to be late. I'd make sure I was fucking early and I'd just be like, and now because I've eased up a little bit because I'm more en flow, thank God. I don't do that. Actually, I tend to show up right on time. Even when I think I'm late, I'm like, chill pill, right on time, right? Virgo, 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 Virgo. Oh, and I have Libra and Mercury, which is all about balance and communicate. I'm like, balance communicator right here, babies. Oh, 20-minute early is on time. True. But then there's some times where you're 5 minutes late and that is on time. Because even when you're on flow, you'll notice this. On flow, when you're late, it's because you're meant to be late, and or it's because the person you're meeting is going to be late, and so your lateness is actually on time, just as the early can also just be on time as well. True dat. True do dat dat dat. Pisces here. I love a Pisces. I love the Pisces are like just the all-encompassing healer to me. Ooh, yeah, baby. Taurus moon. This is a good time for you, divine sight. I feel like a lot of us were on it and we know this because we're connecting now and we're like, Sam, thank God. Now it's worth it. Yeah, it's been worth it. Although there's been a lot, let's be honest, there's been a lot of karma that we've had to work through to get to this point where it's all going to feel worth it, right? Exactly. The wizard. I feel you. I feel you, Crispy. The wizard arrives. Wait, wait. I know this. This is from our dear friend Gandalf, is it not? The wizard arrives precisely when intended. Exactly. That's good. That's great. OMG, 1717. As in, there's 17 people watching, there's 17 likes. MJ has babbled on for 125 minutes and 52 seconds. And so, guess what? I think I'm gonna go now. And on that, look, CC, sweet CC, Gandalf, represent in the hood. Yo. I'm out, you guys. Have an awesome day. I so appreciate you. Thanks for all the comments and the likes and the subscribes. And you guys know I'm just here in service to the whole come on new paradigm activities. Let's go have some fun, you guys, in loving benevolence and grace. Woohoo! Yes, I love you all so much, you guys. Nighty night, Susanna, Laurie, Brazidaire, Crispy, Julie, Zeus, Elder, Elliot, like all of you guys, Laurie, I love you guys so much. I can't wait to actually meet you in person. 1818. I'm gonna go. Have a great day, you guys. Love you loads. Peace out.